been teaching the human sexuality course at Dalhousie for 10 years now, and I've really enjoyed that class, and it sort of speaks well to my background. I grew up in the States in a very religious home in many ways, and that made it quite difficult in some ways to come out as a gay man and sort of go through the whole coming out process and to understand that it's okay, to be different and to live in your own skin in many ways. That's a big question, and I think it differs for a lot of people. So for me, my sexual orientation, my gender identity, in many ways, because of my career, because of my advocacy within the LGBTQ plus community, it's meant advocacy, it's meant connection, at times it's meant family and friends. So there are a lot of different things that sexual orientation and gender identity brings about whenever you fall outside, the heterosexual norm. And I think it varies in people's needs as far as that goes, and desires and how they want to be connected. But for me, it really helped me along in the process. I grew up at a time when there was no internet and you couldn't connect via Instagram, so it was difficult for me to see other people who were humans living their lives as out and gay, functional people. I think one of the important things for youth and even adults, because we all start basically when we understand a little bit about ourselves in terms of who we are, and that could happen at any age, is being able to see someone else. You can't, it's more difficult to make your way through whether you're gay, bi, trans, queer, non-binary, whatever it may be, if you can't see anybody else out there able to do it. And even before me, the gay rights movement, we owe a debt of gratitude, because even before internet and before a lot of the communication that we have today, people couldn't see what it meant and how to connect to others, but now we can. And I think that we need to use every tool that we have, whether it's Instagram, whether it's whatever, to try to say, hey, there are people out there, and we need to find ways to support each other. I've thought a lot about that question, and for me, I think that positive mental health in many ways is being able to make those connections and being able to be at peace and happy with yourself, which then enables you to be at peace and happy with other people. I think that, relying on others to make our mental health better is an important thing. We need connections, but we also have to, in many ways, come to terms with the effects of growing up and currently living in a homophobic, transphobic, and heteronormative culture. At the end of the day, I think that we have made progress to a degree, but we still live in a space where we're different. And the sooner we can accept ourselves and deal with the effects of a society that treats us that way, the more resilient we become. And in many ways, it's enabled me personally to gain greater insight into the ideas around gender and sexuality, and hopefully I've been able to pass some of that along to my students. I think all along, and whether it's negative or positive, sexual identity always impacts our mental health. And that's because, sex, relationships, how we present ourselves to the world is always present with us. And I think that in many ways we don't really talk enough about how that interaction plays a role in our overall well-being. And so I think about that all the time, you know, in my relationship with others, and how I want to present myself to the world, and how I want to relate to people. You know, I try to really think about how to be genuine, positive, and haven't always been able to do that. And I think that happens for a lot of people. I mean, it's okay also, I think, to accept ourselves when we're not at our best. And yeah, I mean, I can think back, coming out, I share this a lot in my class, the coming out time for me was very difficult. And I tell people, you know, I drank my way through it. The way I would come out to somebody was we would get drunk together and then we would talk about it. And I was always surprised at how positive most people were, because I had prejudged most people and thought that they weren't going to react that way. And so I can see that now clearly in retrospect, that it was my coping mechanism. But it got me through, and it ended up on the other side of that process, which ultimately is ongoing. Always, I think, are in a state of coming out, but at that time, it brought about on the other side very positive relationships, and the ones that weren't positive went away. That's okay. I thought about this one a lot too. I think that the one thing I might say to myself when I was younger is, people aren't watching as closely as you think, and you don't always have to be perfect or try to present your best self to the world all the time, or to conform as much as I did back then. You know, growing up in an environment where you know you're different, you're told that you're different, I was always on guard and always thinking about somebody seeing me, watching me, and noticing that I might transgress gender roles and give myself away before I was ready to come out. And, you know, it's a big thing to be able to say to a young person, hey, you're okay. And people aren't watching as much as you think. And in fact, if you express yourself in the way that you want to, people might like it. I'm Matt Newmer, and I'm proud to be me.